Hello, thank you for listening. This is the near death experience of Rene, and Rene's experience occurred in 1993 and was documented on March 3rd of 2018 and was originally in the German language and has been translated. Open quote. I had lymph node cancer. During chemotherapy, I had many thrombosis in all possible body parts. Beforehand, I already had massive headaches, which were leading to attacks of sweating and vomiting when standing upright or sitting. I also had a reduction of my field of vision. The doctors subsequently diagnosed that I had metastasis in my brain. Afterwards, it turned out that it was a sinus thrombosis. My sinus thrombosis was a pivotal point in my cancer therapy as I had a stroke, went into a coma, and kept having seizures. I was transferred to the neurological hospital since the doctors thought I had tumors in my head which needed to come out. In my coma, they didn't give me any painkillers since I had no reactions to pain stimuli anymore. A short time later, I got a very high fever, 106 degrees Fahrenheit, and together with the pain, I had a feeling like being in a frying pan. I suffered a lot from the fever and pain. I heard unbelievably loud praying voices that seemed to pray in a language unknown to me. Over and again, I heard the same words in an unknown language. I nevertheless understood their meaning somehow deep within myself with a sound intensity that almost seemed to blow up my head. The fever, the unbelievable pain, and this extremely loud, repetitive praying had been so unbearable that I only wanted to die. I wanted to leave my body. Whoosh! I was outside of my body. It happened very fast and easily. I was lying in my hospital bed with a nurse on one side and both of my parents on the other side. I felt infinite relief, no pain, no fever anymore. The praying had stopped too. It was calm and peaceful. I enjoyed this tremendously. It was so nice. I didn't feel any fear at all. Everything was as it should be and the way I wanted it to be. I had no fear of the loss of my body. I didn't have a feeling for my parents, who I knew were so sad when I'm dying. All this was unimportant to me. Something was pulling me away from my hospital room, out through the ceiling, and away from this world. In the next moment, I was in a park, with birds chirping and insects humming about. It was very beautiful. There were flowers everywhere and various types of grass and great old trees. A mild breeze moved the leaves, making them rustle. It was a pleasant day in late summer, at an advanced afternoon time. The sun was shining, but it wasn't unpleasant. I looked at a small house that seemed to fit into this situation. A tall, elderly man was in the front of the house and was wearing a dark coat or hooded cloak. He had a long beard, looked at me with loving eyes, and welcomed me with caring words. Despite the fact that this situation was so infinitely peaceful and beautiful, I had a feeling I didn't belong here. I didn't feel right at this place. It was very surreal. I greeted the old man and thanked him for welcoming me. I told him that I felt wrong here and something was not right. I suddenly was unsure if this was the right decision to take, as I only had wanted to get away from the bodily pain, fever, and unspeakably loud praying. He felt my uncertainty and revealed to me that now I would see a movie showing me all the things that would happen if I left my life now. Everything seemed to tumble down upon me at once. I saw myself giving a lecture in front of health professionals, saw myself writing reports and giving lectures at colleges. I was involved with discovering new possibilities and ways to help sick people find different perception of the new medicine. I saw myself standing on the dock of a worldly courtroom from which I would get away with an acquittal about problems that the pharma lobby would cause me. In the end, I would die in an old age of a natural death. I would pass away peacefully among my loved ones in an armchair. It was immediately clear to me that all these situations needed, all caps, to happen. All this had to happen like this and not differently. I said, all this has to happen. I have to go back. Can't stay anymore. The old man nodded knowingly and said, so be it. I then told him that I had no strength anymore, that my body was so degraded due to chemotherapy and radiation, due to space food and artificial food, due to fever and coma, that I had used up all my resources, that I was just a skeleton, and that I was all skin and bones. I can't manage this alone. I can't keep going, I said. Please help me. Whoosh! I was back in my body. Everything was fuzzy, soft, warm, and fluffy, like cotton and wool, clouds. I had no fever, felt no pain, and it was calm all around me. I knew I was recovering. Now I could sleep comforted. I fell asleep deep inside of me, and in my coma, I was calm and content. I have almost no memories and no sense of time. I slowly woke up from my coma. The medical personnel told me later that I was looking at them with very big eyes. They said I had speaking eyes. They tried to get in contact with me using the Zwinger procedure to get an idea of my state of mind. I couldn't move my body, only my head a little bit. I had forgotten how to speak. I had aphasia of speech. Now it was more than 25 years later, and I'm sitting, fully functional at my laptop, and filling out this form. End quote. And what an interesting experience, Rene. So you were supposed to help sick people find different perception of the new medicine, and that you were going to, I saw myself standing on the dock of a worldly courtroom from which I would get away with an acquittal about problems that the pharma lobby would cause me. Very interesting, and I'm wondering if that happened. This date of this NDE was 1993 and documented on 2018, so over 20 years later. Let's see if there's any information in these questions. Start from the top. Question, was there an associated life-threatening event? Answer, life-threatening but not clinical death. I was in a coma due to sinus thrombosis. I had cerebral hemorrhaging and lymph node cancer. Question, how do you consider the content of your experience? Answer, entirely pleasant. Question, rating your highest level of consciousness. I had access to all truths and clarity of the universe. It seems as if I was able to understand and do everything that was possible, independent of sleep or hunger or bodily ailments. This was completely different from what I knew until this experience. Question, comparing your vision. Answer, in my everyday life I'm limited, but in the experience I was free of limitations. Question, what emotions did you feel during the experience? Answer, I was part of something big and whole, of the all-encompassing truth and clarity. I'm not sure if words could convey the content of the emotions that I felt. I'm comparing this with the magnetic tape transporting a certain amount of data, being unable to cope with the amount of data of a Blu-ray disc. That's an interesting comparison. And I guess now it would be some sort of pocket 10T hard drive or something like that. Crazy. Question, did scenes from the future come to you? Answer, I saw a movie concerning my future. I saw that I would have an impact on the world. I saw how I would be involved in a decisive way in new procedures, ways, and means to help sick people and to show doctors how to deal with diseases. This concerns the whole world. Question: what was your religion prior to your experience? Answer: Catholic. I turned away from the Catholic Church and from God early because I didn't share many of the ideas of the churches. At the time, I was thinking church equals God. I turned away from both. Question: have your religious practices changed as your experience? Answer: yes. We are all one with the universe, and there is a universal guiding being. Question: what is your religion now? Answer: other faiths, New Age. Every human being is unique, and together with all people, the living and deceased, we are forming a great community of the all-encompassing being. Question: did your experience include features consistent with your earthly beliefs? Answer: content was entirely inconsistent. Can it be so simple to bring people to heal themselves from illness? Question: did you have a change in your values and beliefs because of your experience? Answer: yes. I have a great certitude with things. At all times, I have myself and my decisions under control and can decide on my own what happens. Question: did you seem to encounter a mystical being or presence or hear an unidentifiable voice? Answer: I talked to an elderly man that I didn't know. He had a voice that I didn't know, but everything could be assigned to an earthly origin. Question: during your experience, did you gain information about the existence of God? Answer: yes. We are all a part of God. It seems that there is a guiding universal being, a universal consciousness. I don't know if God is defined in this way. Question: during your experience, did you gain special knowledge or information about your purpose? Answer: yes. We all live in order to have experiences, to define and develop ourselves, and to realize what our role in life and in this world is. Question: did you gain information about how to live our lives? Answer: yes. Love yourself, and others will love you. That's good. I can agree with that one for sure. Question: during your experience, did you gain information about life's difficulties, challenges, and hardships? Answer: yes. The answer can be found in the experience that was given to me, to find new ways to deal with sick people, to treat them, to find new procedures, ways, and means to heal people. Question: what life changes occurred after your experience? Answer: large changes. I'm living with greater awareness and intensity and am perceiving people differently. Question: how accurately do you remember the experience in comparison with other life events that happened around the same time? Answer: I remember it more accurately. The experience I lived was so intense and present that it burned indelibly into my brain. And even after more than 25 years, it's as real as if it happened yesterday. Question: do you have any psychic, non-ordinary, or other special gifts after your experience that you did not have before the experience? Answer: yes. I can see auras, am clairvoyant, and I have an increased empathy for other people. I'm basically able to read thoughts. Basically. Question: are there one or several parts of the experience that are especially meaningful or significant to you? Answer: I have a great certitude with things. At all times, I have myself and my decisions under control and can decide on my own what happens. Question: what do you believe about the reality of your experience? Answer: experience was definitely real. It always remained present with me until today. It's still as present as it was then, more than 25 years ago. It is unchanged. End questions. End quote. Thank you, Rene. And I'm wanting to know what you're doing. Very curious of what you're doing, but do appreciate how you've shared this with us, and very interested in this new medicine. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening.